What's something you know about a Freen 6 life that you wish you didn't? Learned about a friend's cake sitting fetish from his girlfriend after they broke up. I was friends with both of them separately. Sometime after they split we were chatting about weird fetishes and she says, "Oh, I've got a good one. He's a pretty straight-laced looking guy. Not boring but doesn't seem like a weird dude by most measures. Apparently for his birthday one year he asked her if she would sit on a cake for him. She thought she misunderstood so she asked for clarification. Yup, he'd love it if she sat on a cake for him. Would he get off on that? Definitely. Wait, should she be naked? Nope, not at all necessary. She can wear whatever she wants. Pants are fine. Will he be jerking off or something during? Nope. He'll just save the mental image for later. He wasn't into any other dom or sub stuff, or even any other food stuff. Just a cake. She claimed she eventually declined to do the cake sitting. But, anyhow, every time I've seen him since all I can think is cake. He got a new girlfriend. They got married. And I just think, bet she sat on a cake. Savannah's boyfriend Doug got drunk and had sex with her gay best friend Phil. Savannah found out and was cool with it because she's into that sort of thing. Doug and Phil hook up again. Drunk Savannah walks in and is suddenly not so cool with it. Tears, screaming, pain, and forgiveness happens. And now Doug won't drink if Phil is around. Savannah and Doug are getting married soon. And Phil is in the bridal party. I don't know whether to prepare for a smooth ceremony or an absolutely it show. Edit. Whoa. Thanks for the gold. The wedding is at the end of August. So I'll either update here or there will probably be another relevant AskReddit around then. A couple of weeks ago, an employee of mine texts me. Keep in mind, we have been friends for like 20 years. He says I have something very important to ask of you. It's like 1 AM. So I'm naturally concerned and say okay, to which he responds, if anything happens to me and my wife, I need you to go to our apartment and insert specifics here there. You will find all sex box. Burn it immediately. Do not let our families experience the shame. Naturally, I promise to do this. Not a word of it spoken since. I used to live in an apartment next to a lady who was very vocal during sex. Especially with demands to her partner on what to do to her. Many times she woke us up. Initially it was annoying, but then it was almost comical. So me and the flatmates started using the opportunity to have a beer and catch up in the very early morning, late night, and have a laugh. One morning I was dressed in a suit going to my first day of work on a new project and this lady far in front of me kept looking back and avoiding me. I thought initially she was scared of me. Large dark-skinned man walking to work on side streets. But about an hour later I got to work and I was introduced to my new co-worker and supervisor, my next door neighbor, who I will be working on a 6-month project with. Such an awkward project. But their sex stopped for 6 months so we were glad for uninterrupted sleep. 15 years later we are friends now and kind laugh about it. One night this girl I know told me that her guy loves anal sex, but his D is too short to actually reach past her big butt cheeks. So she just clinches really hard and lets him think he's doing it. I don't know why she felt the need to tell me this and I really wish that mental image had never entered my brain. Edit. Okay, since I've had more questions, comments and silver, thanks, I guess, lol, on this than everything else in my history on Reddit combined. So to answer a few things. The girl is a little chubby but she is not even close to being so big that anal sex should be impossible. No, I don't know the guy's D size. I'm not close friends to either of them and this was probably close to 10 years ago. But the girl did say the guy was really small. He's a very short and skinny guy. So if his D is anything like the rest of him, it really is tiny. Pretty sure she was not hitting on me as this wasn't told to me privately. She just decided to announce it while a group of us were hanging out one night without him around. Poor guy. I don't know if the guy has ever had real anal sex or if he's smart enough to know the difference. Probably not. Yes, they've had real sex because they have a kid who looks so much like the guy. There's no chance in hell it isn't his. Hope that clears up a few things. In high school I had an Australian exchange student stay with me for a month. We were 15. I knew nothing about sex but she had a BF. Out of nowhere she told me she could fit a whole water bottle up her V. I was scarred. My friend in high school announced that she lost her virginity to her cousin, but it was okay because it was anal. First time I really did not know what to say to her. My best friend was the purest little thing. She likes being choked hard, like, until her eyes become red from her capillaries bursting. At least it happened once. He gets mad, absolutely furious, if she takes a crap when he's not there to watch and jerk off. Friend texted my wife and I about bad sex after a Tinder date because the dude had a super tiny D and lasted less than 5 minutes from disrobing to blowing his load. Then, as she's describing the guy, I realize it sounds just like another friend of mine. So I ask for a pic. It was him. So now I know my buddy of many years has a tiny D and zero stamina in the bedroom. Could have done without knowing. TBH. I remember it was school night in high school and I heard pounding on my window. I got kinda scared, but I heard my buddy's voice outside. I thought something was really wrong. Nope, he woke me up at 3 AM to tell me he just let his GF peg him and it was the best thing in the world. What the literal duck, why did he wake me up for this? One time my friend was at my house playing FIFA and a large metal D cage fell out of his pocket and clanked onto the floor. My boss, a colleague, and I were making jokes about putting your D in peanut butter and let the dog lick it off. He and I don't own any pets. So, my boss overheard this and started to tell us about when he was younger and home alone he would come in front of his parents' cat and let the cat lick it off the ground and his D. Everything about my mom's sex life. She started dating about the same time I did, so she always wanted to share. I hated hearing it. Still wish I didn't know about it. Sick. Edit. Thanks for the gold. My grandparents bought a single graveplot together and agreed whoever died first would be buried first and the other would be buried on top of them when they passed. I didn't find this out until my grandpa died a few years back. My grandma explained the situation to me at the funeral, just before they started lowering his coffin. She also made a point of telling me how awkward this was going to be when she died, as grandpa apparently liked being on top. At his funeral she told me this, as if I ever wanted to know. At the man's damn funeral, I'm here trying to keep IT together and grandma's out here talking about how she was getting missionary D for 60 straight years. Had a buddy in college and we were doing a project together. We had a big file we were working on and it was too big for email. Rather than going all the way to his place to give him the USB, he told me to log into his Dropbox and put the file there. I'd never used Dropbox before and was surprised when a Dropbox folder was created in my documents. I went in it and I saw there were multiple videos and photos of him and different girls engaging in some not very common sex acts. I never mentioned it to him. To this day I still think about it. Like he must have known Dropbox would download the videos to my computer, right? Also IDK why I watched them. Edit. The dude was into being pegged. I'd never seen or heard of that before. I watched like 3 of the videos with morbid fascination, then uninstalled Dropbox, deleted everything, and pretended it never happened. Well, semi-related, my friend growing up just used her mom's iTunes account when she first got her phone because she was just a kid. Fast forward to her being 19 living away from home. Mom gets a new computer, signs into iTunes and it syncs all of my friend's phone info with the computer, sending her mom all of her nudes, sexts, and 6 videos. It scarred my friend. Her and her mom don't really talk anymore. Don't know if this counts, but I found out that my friend bases her relationship solely around how good sex is. She confessed to me that she loves her boyfriend that she's been with for a year and they're perfect together, except he's clueless during sex. She also refuses to tell him this and just expects him to figure out what she wants without using words. She told me that she's going to give him another month to fix it or she's breaking up with him. All the while she's still making Facebook status and Instagram posts about how much she loves him and how great he is while she's planning to break up with him. My girlfriend was telling me about how she didn't like being around her brother. When I asked her why, she admitted to me that she just didn't feel comfortable around him because she used to have sex with him off and on over several years. I mean, I'd decorate the account for the sake of better storytelling, but just look at the thread title. Of course any mention of brother means break out the banjo. I was definitely quite put off by this. but tried to keep my cool and roll with this revelation. I was hoping the conversation would somehow loop back to letting her redeem herself. So I then say, well, hopefully this wasn't too recent. Oh god no. She assures me, the last time we did it was like 10 years ago. 10 years ago. She would have been 20. Her brother would have been 12. I'm supervisor at my job and I was doing orientation for this guy on his first day. After barely introducing himself, he felt the need to tell me that it really gets him going when his white girlfriend puts on black face paint and pretends to be a sassy black lady, but there's no way in hell he would actually duck a black lady. Then he felt the urge to break the awkward silence with a nude picture of his girlfriend on her knees covered in cum. I told him to get out and don't come back. He didn't know what he did wrong. I found out my friend and his girlfriend were open and participate in MMF threesomes. I found this out when I was invited to the threesome. I politely declined. I got a friend who has sex in public. That was my chill book spot, but thanks for getting your ass wet on it. An old friend of mine has a large enough D that he stubbed it walking into the bathroom door. I still remember the sound he made. My roommate is deaf, so you could definitely say I hear too much about her sex life. Edit. Added obvious pun. Female co-worker brags about how she is awesome at deep throat and loves doing it. We work at a Fortune 50 corporate office. When I was high, I admitted to my friend that my girlfriend loves anal, possibly more than normal sex. I can tell he thinks of her differently whenever we're all together. That was my bad. Back in high school, my best friend confessed that she had a threesome with her boyfriend and one of his friends. I didn't think it was a huge deal. Yesterday, so like 5-6 years since she first told, she confessed that it was actually with her boyfriend and his cousin. Had a friend in college, nice girl, who would slap the ever-loving it out of her sexual partners during intercourse. I know this because one poor guy left her dorm room with a red as duck face covered in handprints. Poor guy seemed to think it was worth it. So good for him, I suppose. A guy I'll know enjoys double penetration in his ass from 2 cocks at once. No dildos, just to be clear. Not a friend but a co-worker of mine used to spy on her daughter to make sure she had orgasms. Same co-worker has asked advice on dildos to at least one male co-worker. She's also implied before that her 5-inch husband, supervisor of mine, spends too much time on his laptop. I've also been shown their Mexico trip pictures. Essentially 80% of her in a bikini on a beach. Not a friend but a co-worker. Turns out she's a regular main event at X-Sums and other more lopsided get-togethers. Gender-wise, that an old college buddy likes to organize. Dude says she was always that sort. Kinda distracting now. Does her job well is all I know for sure though. My friend found out he wasn't actually bisexual by having sex with his at the time transgender GF for the first time and being utterly disgusted by her D. He powered through though when they broke up shortly after. Also, she had the bigger D. Edit. A word. Buddy told me, while high, that he likes walking around at night with a dildo in his ass. Walking past people who don't know what he's doing is his kink. He's straight. My now ex best friend has a baby kink where she wears diapers, sucks a binky while her boyfriend has sex with her. She was very open about it and constantly talked to me about it. Took childish nudes for her boyfriend with me and my small child in the room. Really gross. Years ago, 2 women moved into the apartment next door to mine. It was impossible to not hear them have a sex because there were screamers and because the front door to each apartment was in the bedroom. So, whatever noise they made in the bedroom was easily heard by anyone waiting for the elevator. My neighbors used to shout their nicknames while having sex. They called each other mommy and dirty girl. More than mommy. More than who's my dirty girl? More than oh mommy. Oh mommy oh. More than you're my dirty girl. My dirty girl. More than I'm so dirty mommy. I never met my neighbors, but every now and then I'd be in the elevator with one of them, and I couldn't help being curious. But there is no polite way to say hi. I'm Nicola. Are you mommy or dirty girl? So, obviously, I didn't ask, but I couldn't help being curious. Last August, my parents helped me move into my dorm at college. A couple weeks later, My sister confided in me that while we were gone, she had had multiple boys over. I didn't need or want to know that. One of my friends is dating a guy that doesn't pay rent or eat pussy. Embarrassing. He doesn't. A dog bit his dart off. Wolf masks. They wear wolf masks. When I was in middle school, I had one friend showing me her mom's dildo. My female friend told me she thinks sucking cock is gross and demeaning and that guys are only into it for the power trip. She also said we've all been brainwashed by pornography to pressure girls into anal and that the only thing she'll do is missionary like God intended. He gets 6 advice from his mom. One of my best friends gets a 5-figure payout every year to keep an affair he's having with an older businessman secret. Also, any story from Ass Wednesday. One of my friends told us her hair magically ties itself in knots around her boyfriend's D. We call him D knots now. My female co-worker is on those websites for abuse fetish. You arrange a situation where a guy breaks into your house at a specified time and acts out her abuse against you. She says it's the only way she can get off anymore. Similar to the book movie Choke by Chuck Palahniuk. Apparently their kink is sneezing, so they have a 6 feather. Not confident it's true since I didn't hear it from them, but that's a weird rumor to make up. My best friend ate a guy's ass out. Someone she met on Tinder. I'm actually glad I know this, though. Hella proud of her. I've told this story on here before, but my friend's fiancée used to be a moderately successful cam whore years ago. She abruptly stopped before her and my friend even met. So I doubt my friend knows about it. I recognized her gappy tooth grin pretty much instantly when he introduced us. I love them both dearly, and I was honored to be a groomsman in their wedding. But sometimes when I look at her I can't help but think, yep, I've seen you with a bottle of coke shoved up your V. Not me, but my best friend knows that I'm sleeping with her brother, because I'm dating her brother. But she doesn't like that she knows I'm sleeping with her brother. The best man at my wedding has a hard time dating because his cock is like 2 coke cans stacked on top of one another. He's finally found a girl that's his glass slipper. I seriously think he's going to get married just because it fits. 2 of my friends telling me that a little bit of fist is okay. I worked with 2 guys that were best friends and I was really fond of both of them. I ended up befriending one of the guys and hung out with him without the other around. During this time the other guy's name came up a few times and for some reason he told me the other guy was like super into anal, ducking, tossing, beads, everything. He was obsessed. I didn't know anal guy very well at the time outside of work, so now this is the first thing I think of every time I think of him. And he is the first person I think of every time I think of anal. I don't know why, but it just stuck with me. Now he's dating my best girlfriend and I wish I didn't know this anymore. One of my best homies said he likes his girl to place ice against balls when he's about to come. Didn't need to know that. And also still curious like what the logistics are for setup. One of my friends banged his cousin years ago after we all got back from a concert. Down the shore drinking at a bar with a couple female friends. Find out the night before one of them hooked up with a guy she really liked but wasn't gonna call him again because his D was too small. Me and the other friend are dying, but I decide to play devil's advocate in between small D jokes. I tell her she shouldn't be so superficial and give the guy a chance if she really likes him. She had messed around but hadn't had sex with him, so I told her who knows. He might know how to use it and she might like it. I was just ducking around with her, but she took my advice to heart and gave the guy a chance. They are married now. My friend told me her ex used to dom her by having her masturbate twice a day but never finish for a month. By the end of it I was turned into a total cum slut and walked around constantly wet and would beg him to let me get off. It kinda takes the joy out of life, knowing you've already heard the hottest thing you'll ever come across. A friend of a girl I was dating said she once had an one-night stand with a guy in which that guy broke his D. He had to be rushed to the ER and there was blood everywhere, she said. Best friend and her girlfriend at the time told me about their adventure to a sex shop to buy a strap-on. Got to find out that my best friend joked about getting an 8-inch dildo for it. Ended up getting a 6 and couldn't handle it. One of my best friends apparently shoots giant loads. He has some physical condition that led to him having really unnaturally high testosterone. and even had to take estrogen through his teens to balance him out. Sorry, I don't know more about that. We became friends in college. If somebody might know more about this, feel free to clue me in. He refers to his cum as sippy cup loads because he says he shoots enough to fill a sippy cup. Why is that his preferred unit of measurement? Great question. Anyways, back in our college days and before he got married, he said he would have to want new hookups if he got a blowjob. Apparently he felt like his nuts are so voluminous that it would be disrespectful to shoot that much in a girl's mouth, even if she was willing. He's also spoken at great length about the texture and consistency, but I'll spare you all that bit. In closing, I can't say I really wish I didn't know because we've had so many good laughs about it. Friend of mine loves bad dragon toys. She would keep them out on display. First time at her house was interesting. She gave me a rundown of what each one was shaped like and how it felt and how she and her boyfriend used them. I love her. We've been friends for several years now, but it was a bit much to take all that in within the first month or so of knowing her. One time, my friend was having sex with a new girlfriend, both late 30s, 100% adults. Girlfriend hears a knocking sound, neighbor's food delivery, and starts panicking and calling out for her mom. Like, "Mom, is that you?" And then blamed the entire episode on diabetes. Blood sugar was fine. Side note, same guy found out that same new girlfriend likes to be peed on while peeing at the same time. But not in a sexual way, just in a general way. So, while this is not a part of his sex life, decided to throw it in for good measure.